In 5, 4, 3. That's the motto, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with it. I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it, and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks! In 5, 4, 3.
Happy Wednesday, and welcome to the 50th episode of the Wolff Den, presented by Win Again Academy. I am Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. We have a special episode for you today. We're going to introduce everyone on the screen, and we're going to have some more people joining. If you're wondering who all these people are, these are my childhood friends, and this is the Sports Weekend crew. And you might be asking yourself, what is Sports Weekend? It is an annual trip where we go to a different city every year, and we go to a Major League Baseball, college football, and pro football game. And this last year was supposed to be our 20th year, and it got canceled due to COVID. So this year we will have our 20th anniversary of Sports Weekend. We're not sure where it's going to be yet. It depends on the NFL schedule and a few other factors, which we'll find out in May. But this is the crew, part of the crew. And so we're going to introduce everyone, but there are two people that have been on every single Sports Weekend, so 19 in total, and that's Kevin in the Barry Larkin jersey and my twin brother, Evan. I have missed the first one and been on the other ones, and then I'll let everyone else, because I don't remember. I think Dave has missed one or two, and Jeff too, and Vomit Matt was a late addition to it, but he's been on every one since he hasn't missed one. So we'll start at the top, at my top, and just tell everyone who you are and where you're from, where you live, kind of how you got involved, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so Kevin, a.k.a. Barry Larkin. Living in Arizona these days, moved out here about 15 years ago. Originally grew up with you guys, met Evan and Matt in junior high. David and Jeff, man, we were in kindergarten together. I think something like that. Amazing that we're still together doing it. But missed the trip last year, unfortunately due to COVID. But looking forward to this year's trip sometime in September. But we started it, kind of Evan and I and everybody in 2001, actually, 2 weeks after 9/11. We had planned it ahead of time, didn't know what was going on, and didn't know whether or not we were going to actually make the trip, but thought, it was needed at the time, and got, I think, 6 or 7 of us together and decided to head out to St. Louis, which was our first trip. But Evan, I'll let you go from there.
Yeah, hey, I am Evan, Matt's twin brother, so met him fairly early on. The rest of these guys at varying points. I started in Central Jersey. I now live in North Jersey. Had a brief stint in the Central of America in Indianapolis. I think it was actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he went on one trip, and it wasn't even the first one. But the idea generated right from Siegel, one of Siegel's brothers, had a similar, not exactly the same trip. So it's funny that kind of started it, and we got sidetracked last year, obviously, like everyone with COVID, and yet the first trip we ever went on, we were, I guess, maybe too stupid to know better to not go on it right after 9/11. But no, it's been amazing, and honestly, I would say of all the things that we had to give up last year, for me, one way or another, I was able to see my mom and Matt and my sister, but getting to see you guys and be on this trip was probably the thing that hurt the most in terms of what I gave up for COVID. So I'll pass it on to, looks like, Dave.
I thought it would make it.
All right. So I'm Dave. I am currently homeless. I just relocated my family from the Chicago area after living there for about 9 years. And we are in the midst of trying to find a house in what can only be described as the worst housing market in the past, 200 years.
What area are you looking?
We mostly eastern Pennsylvania, so Bucks County area. So we are currently in a temporary house. A very close friend has let us stay here for free without an end date. So we're very lucky in that respect, and hope we find a house soon. Yeah, I mean, amongst missing many things due to COVID last year, missing Sports Weekend was killer. I mean, it was really a big hit. I think we all missed it, and we're all looking forward to getting back. I've missed two. I missed the first one because I was living in San Francisco and I was poor, and I missed another one for the birth of my daughter. So I miss now her birthday every year in order to go to Sports Weekend. I think I've made up for missing that one.
Yeah. But also, you made a very, very long trip to join us for one of the sports weekends, and so tell everyone what that was.
I did, yeah. I was living in Paris with my family in an expat role for my former company, and I flew in from Paris to go to Sports Weekend. I flew in also for work purposes, but was able to squeeze Sports Weekend into the trip. So that was Boston. Was I think one of the better trips. We had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, we'll get into the trips a little bit. Vomit Matt, you're next. Tell everyone why you're Vomit Matt real quick.
Hey guys, Vomit Matt, not to be confused with Matthew Wolff, who was one of the originators of the trip. Vomit Matt is because I can't hold my alcohol. Anyway, the way I came about getting on this trip is actually Evan was my neighbor back when I was in my childhood development. And I was actually in college. I paid my way through college by cutting lawns. And Evan actually gave me an ultimatum that said, I'm sorry, I either have to give up my landscaper or my housekeeper. And I got cut. And then he invited me to Arizona. And that is how I got on Sports Weekend.
So Arizona was your first, and you've been to all of them since.
I have not missed one since. Been through several jobs. And now actually I'm in a very different place in life. But, Sports Weekend has always been a constant. It's something I always look forward to. Unfortunately, COVID, something last year was that, we all missed out. And, this is a great experience for all of us and a great excuse to get together. And, I'm looking forward to getting back together this year.
Great. Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Brand, one of the originals. Started the St. Louis trip. I want to take this moment to say thank you to publicly Kevin, Evan, and Matt. They always do the heavy lifting to organize this trip. They make it super easy. They get all the tickets. They pick all the dates. We do some voting. But all I do is show up. And it's the highlight of my year. It's one of the things that we all get permission early on. It's a known, as David mentioned, we miss birthdays and other significant events to make it happen because bringing us together is unique. And I think it's an awesome community. And it's my favorite traditions of any I can think of, any group of friends. I love bringing in new blood like Matt. It keeps us young and energized and makes the trip that much more fun. But it's always great to have that core group. And I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah. Rob, are you joining us?
Yeah.
There he is.
Tell everyone who you are and talk
My dishwasher is leaking, so I'm looking at it at the same time. Yeah, it's great.
So tell us who you are and where you live, which trips you were on. Yeah. No? All right. I'll let you. I'll say for Rob. Rob, were you on St. Louis?
Original members.
Your Wi-Fi is awesome, dude.
He's on dial-up.
What's that?
He's using American Online. He's using the free disc.
So bad.
All right. You were on the original trip. How many? About 4 or 5 you've been on?
I don't know if it's my internet. Yeah, I forget. Yes, I was on the original trip. I've been on St. Louis. Green Bay was amazing. Where else did we go? Atlanta was amazing.
It's all at the bottom, Rob. You just got to look at the bottom. It's all in order.
Lots of great time.
Cleveland. He's been the
Colorado was a great one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But technically, Rob,
Yeah,
you did get thrown out of a
a
game.
lot of these awesome trips.
Rob did get ejected from a game,
Yeah.
so I'm not sure if that counts as completing the full
Yeah,
experience.
I got the game,
It was for good reasons.
but that was that was their fault, not mine.
Almost got kicked out of the Braves game
Long time
too.
ago.
But we'll talk about that one. Yeah. Well, look, we hope you join us on the 20th.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Well, we all got kicked out of the first game, the very first game in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got to see McGuire's home run, so
we did.
we're done there and we can go.
Where was the first one? Where was the
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
That's right.
Played football under the arch.
Big Mac.
All right. We'll get to those things.
Yeah, we'll
Brett,
get
you're up, brother.
Brett, you're up. Tell everyone who you are, how you got involved here, and
Where you live.
And why you look so angry?
What's
I dated.
up? I haven't seen you in years. I got involved because I've known this group of clowns for 25 years now. Since 1997, I think I met Kevin I met Barry Larkin, realizing that he was actually family, and I think I dunked on him on an 8-foot basket in camp. And when did I join? Let's see. I started going in 2005. That was my first year. We went to Cleveland. What's that?
Evan opened
Someone's
up
cracking a beer.
cracking beer.
Is
So
this thing on?
We're brought to you by Unicorn Farts. Beer.
Delicious.
Yeah, I was telling my wife. My first year was 2005 in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
That's the unforgettable diarrhea incident of the horseshoe.
Yeah.
The unforgettable.
It was
Hard to find a bathroom.
You got
when there's
nothing? Nobody's got anything?
100,000 people there.
Chinese. The big favorite restaurant, the Chinese restaurant. We had. Did we lose Rob? We lost Rob. He'll come back or not.
We can talk about him while he's away. There's a lot of
Yeah.
good stories.
So we'll talk a little bit about each trip, but the trip itself it's based around going to these sports. Major League Baseball, college football, and pro football. And what makes it tough is there's only a limited amount of cities that have all three within reasonable driving distance. And then you have to have it's got to be really in September, and it depends on the NFL schedule. So, once the NFL schedule comes out, we generally have some options. We vote on it, and then we pick and we plan. So we know at some point in May where we're going, and the excitement and anticipation kind of builds from then up until September. And we'll talk a little bit about each trip, but I want you to tell everyone kind of maybe which sporting event is your favorite. Is there a tradition you have of something that you buy? And I have stuff here that I could show maybe towards the end. Is there something that you buy, or maybe like if you could say a couple of your favorite trips? We'll start with Kevin.
So I'm a baseball guy, obviously. So baseball is kind of what kicks off the trip, usually on a Friday. So I'm most interested in getting together with everybody, getting to the ball game. And again, I'm a baseball guy, so I love the baseball games in general. At first, when we first started doing this, I started buying visors. And I don't know why. I don't play golf. And I don't even know what you would use a visor for. So I then started maybe buying hats, or then shortly thereafter getting married, it was more of buying pajamas, pajama pants of some sports team for my wife.
Is that for you or your wife?
It's both of us. So at that point, I'm really open to whatever looks cool, and I'll grab anything. What I do miss from some of these trips is when we first started them, we'd go out there on maybe a Thursday, go play golf Friday morning, and then go to the baseball game on Friday night. We haven't done the golf thing in a while, so maybe it's time for us to kind of pick that back up, even though we probably don't play nearly as much.
We stopped because in Colorado I got a speeding ticket on
That's true.
the way back. But Atlanta we golfed, which was beautiful at Stone Mountain. That was a beautiful golf course.
And the Claw
Yeah,
in
and
Tampa.
Yeah, the University Club at Tampa is where Brett went to school.
And on the first trip, when we went out to St. Louis, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Brian Siegel and I went out there a day early. We went out there on Yom Kippur, don't tell my rabbi. And so we went out there on Thursday, and we had booked a Days in Center City. And we went there. It was under construction, and it was not the greatest neighborhood. And you can hear the construction going on, and it was probably maybe a one-star hotel. And before you guys got there, Brian and I searched the city to try to find a reservation in another hotel, and wound up at the Drury Inn, which was right down the street from Busch Stadium at the time. But that was an interesting trip with Brian and I. But we went out to Tapawinga National Golf Course, which was amazing. But when we got there, they didn't have our reservation, and they put us on. It was a 27-hole course. They put us on a 9 of the holes that nobody was on because they don't open it up until a little bit later. So it was just Brian and I, and we played each hole twice. And then we kept going to the other. So we played about 27 holes altogether. But it was a great time. And then everybody showed up on Friday. Why are you looking to your right, Jeffrey?
All right, Evan, favorite sport to go to, and what do you buy? Obviously, you're wearing a shirt from the Seattle trip.
Yeah, the Seattle trip was probably one of my favorites. Getting out there was a huge bucket list for me in general, which is nice for the trip to be able to see so much of the country and different places. I look forward to college football the most. I do enjoy the baseball games, where I enjoy being at the stadiums, I would say, from a baseball, because then we usually get a chance to walk around and enjoy the stadiums as much as anything. I like baseball, but it's not my favorite sport. But college football is the game that I
Sorry, Evan.
That's all right.
Hey, Vomit, mute your video.
If you're not talking, mute, please.
So I would say the college football is the games that I look forward to the most. What was I going to say? Thrown off. I typically go hat. If there's a shirt that I like, I'll definitely pick that up as well. But I would say hats are typically what I would get, and that's just a matter of, sometimes we go to cities where I'm not huge fans of the team from other allegiances, so then it's I got to pick the one that is I guess the lesser of evils, or if there's one that's just kind of cool. So I do go hat, and I don't know. I like, that first night is always good. It's kind of a small crew, and we get out there and do our thing also. Sundays have become tougher and tougher over the years. It tends to drag a little bit. My drinking usually kind of has like a very high roller coaster type of effect to it. So these days on Sunday, I'm usually like trying to figure out what I can eat that's not going to kill me on the flight home, or what else I can continue to put in my body. But it's been a pretty good run.
Dave?
I don't know if I have a favorite in terms of sports, but I like when we're able to catch the special games. Like, I know we've been to a couple like Thursday night NFL season openers. We did Green Bay, Chicago. That was a season opener. That was great. And sometimes we'll get like the Sunday night game. It's a national game. I think we've done a Monday night football game. So I kind of like when it has that kind of special feeling to it, where it's we're from out of town. It's kind of unique to be there. I don't necessarily have a favorite thing to buy. I do buy a lot of hats, which I rarely wear, so I'm not sure why I buy them. And usually go with a T-shirt, and then of course my dad collects college sweatshirts, so I have to buy a college sweatshirt everywhere we go, and then figure out a way to get it to him. So that's a nice little part of the tradition, is hunting that college sweatshirt. Sometimes I buy it at the airport on the way out.
Dave, I think I have to correct you. I don't believe we've been to a Monday night game.
No?
Yeah, we did. The very first trip when we came home, it was not technically part of the trip, but we went to the Giants game Monday night when we got back.
Oh.
Right? Giants.
I don't remember. I
St. Louis. We definitely came home. We went to the Monday night game.
We had the Thursday night game at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Right, against Chicago.
And
Great game.
College football.
And Josh showed up.
Yeah.
Right, in his suit.
But we definitely did the Monday night game when we got back from St. Louis. It was semi-planned.
I guess it's not technically part of the trip.
No. Yeah.
There, or at least invited.
Okay, so
Vomit?
I apologize.
I thought we did a Monday night game. I guess we didn't.
No, we kind of try to avoid it just because you're talking about extra days.
Yeah.
We did a Sunday night game with Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
which was the worst game ever.
We got the Michael Vick bobblehead doll though.
And we stopped the wave. There's
Before
always
the game was great. We stopped the wave, but it was like 55-0 at halftime. And we had the second to last row in the stadium. But Rob did take his shirt off, so everybody got to see the pecs, which was nice.
I think I was standing next to him in that picture. We were so about a half hour after I sent him the link, Kevin started this train of photos, and we have, hundreds and hundreds of photos. When we first started, I was taking 100, 150 photos per trip, and I know Kevin was also, but we probably, if you just picked up your phone, you probably saw, 100 photos just sitting there, going down memory lane, and some pretty awesome photos, some pretty great memories. Vomit and Jeff and Brett, let's just real quick tell everyone, do you have do you collect something? Do you have a favorite thing about the sport?
So for me personally, it's actually the college football games. There's just something about college football that the people that are there, they literally live there for 4, 5, 7 years of their life. And, they really get engrossed into just the whole collegiate atmosphere. And, something about Sports Weekend that, we didn't really address is that unless it's literally in a place where we live, we actually always root for the home team. And it gives us like something that's fun to cheer for, and we take part in the chants, take part in the camaraderie, and it's something that really builds almost like a character builder that we get to meet some of the local people and share some of their stories. Like that goes beyond the sports. And in addition to that, actually going back to Green Bay, something that was very interesting is you're driving through a residential community, and instead of having the local high school stadium, you have Lambeau Field there. So our tailgate for the Green Bay game was literally in someone's front yard. It was, hey, park here for $20, and next thing you know, we're taking moonshine shots out of.
Kevin knew that.
So that was a neighbor of mine was from Wisconsin, and he hooked us up with a good friend of his who said, just come on by and you can park near us and you can hang out and tailgate in our front yard. And it was a very interesting time, but fun.
It was great. If you haven't been to Lambeau, that's a bucket list on its own. And Madison, Kevin's niece or cousin, got us into a frat party. Like literally, there was a party across the street from the stadium, and we've been to I went to University of Florida. You guys, URI and Ohio State, and we've seen our share of parties. I've never seen so many kegs in my life, and we were older in there. We're playing Punch the Wine. The cops ended up raiding it, but I think, again, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there a pregnant woman with her daughter at that party?
I don't know. I don't remember.
There was a pregnant woman, that I can confirm.
I thought it was her daughter, probably somewhere there. Anyway, Milwaukee was a great trip. And what do you say? You buy something on every trip, or it varies?
And then to even add to the party that we were at, it was interesting that several of us being in our mid-30s at the time, being asked by college students, do you go here?
We're all grad students.
No, that was
or professors.
Somebody has a red Badger shirt with an expletive on it. Who has that shirt? Because I remember we wore them. Dave, do you have that, or Brett? Who has the? It says F something. I don't know. We got pictures.
I have a red Badger shirt.
Yeah, moving on. Maybe
the quote of the night
when someone said to Jeff, "You're old enough to be your dad" or something. Remember that?
That was a quote. That was the quote of the night. It was, "You're old."
Yeah.
Like old, like my dad.
Yeah, you're old.
So.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, we party. Look, obviously it's a trip. We get away from life and we go, and nightlife is a big part of it. And we party a little bit, some more than others. Some places are more chill. We really went after it in Wisconsin. I mean, it was, I remember that much.
From what I remember, it was fun.
Yeah. Jeff, what do you like best about which sport, and what do you buy? We see you're wearing an SMU polo.
I am not a big SMU fan, but I am a Mustangs fan. That was the Marlboro Mustangs of high school, where a lot of us played, and so I do get a random T-shirt or long sleeve shirt when I go out there. Besides hosting in Chicago, which was a highlight trip, I'm a football person, and going to the football games is what I enjoy most, and whether it's college or the pro. And but the baseball games are always fun as well. I don't buy hats. You can't fit a hat under this hair, and you have to stop buying T-shirts when you have like 20 of them that you don't ever wear that often. So I do mix it up a little bit, buy gifts, but there's always a souvenir. Yeah, but the real souvenir is the memories. I always cherish those, and a lot of laughs.
Agreed.
There's so many great stories.
And Brett?
Yeah, listen, every year I look so forward to this. It's not because of the football or baseball or basketball or whatever we pull off that year, but it's really the camaraderie with you guys. Now, granted, I want to go to sporting events as well. I love baseball. It's one of my favorite sports, but really I'd say the college football is my favorite because it's usually kind of right in the middle. I don't feel like we're getting ready to go home like at the NFL games. Those are the best games, but at the end of the day, it's like we're leaving that night. So like we wait all year for this. So realistically, the first night's the best, but realistically the college football, those are the greatest, the most energy. And then the night after the college game is usually the best night out with all you guys. So man, it's just tough to say across the board, but really it's just the entire weekend. You look forward to it all year. Like this last year, having to not do it, especially on our anniversary, that sucked. That really was a kick in the gut. So couldn't look forward.
And it lined up great too, right? 20th anniversary in 2020. I mean, that would have just, we'll do it this year, but it would have lined up great.
Yeah.
I kept track of the math.
I'm buying hats and T-shirts. Yeah, like Jeff said, I'm filling my drawers with T-shirts I don't wear anymore, but they're nostalgic. I'm not getting rid of them. So they're filling up that drawer that Andre's trying to empty out. And of course, that's just not going to happen.
I'm gonna start collecting masks.
No, I don't know. Maybe. Rob, tell us what game did you like the most, and do you have any memorabilia?
When was the last time you were on a trip, Rob?
He's on mute.
He was on Philly, maybe.
You're on mute, dude.
Rob.
Eating me.
Typical Zoom.
Not eating me.
There you go.
I think my favorite was. All of them really awesome. I thought Green Bay was great. I thought the Green Bay game was great. It was like Green Bay versus the Bears. Wasn't it like a Sunday night or was it Thursday night? Wasn't
Thursday
it?
night.
Yeah. So that was awesome.
Lots of cheese curds.
But, the whole atmosphere was awesome. It was just like it was. And it was just that was a great trip. Wisconsin was fun. Never been to Madison before, so that was a lot of fun. We had a great crew on that one.
On the floor.
Who has the cheese head? Because we have pictures with the cheese head. Does someone still have the cheese head?
I don't know.
Dave, you have it?
Dave's got the cheese head. All right.
Well,
that's because your wife's from Wisconsin.
Yeah. At one point, I had both of them. I couldn't. They're in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I tore off my box to bring some of this stuff here. Rob, but you were in New Jersey, right? You were in Minnesota, Atlanta, Chicago.
I wasn't.
So you.
Yes, I was in Minnesota. Yep, yeah, Chicago.
Weren't we beer pong champions?
That was a good game.
I think me, you, and Dave were beer pong.
We went to Cleveland. Did we check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Cleveland. Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
Another one of my highlights I forgot to mention was this crew playing flag football, either amongst
Under the arch?
ourselves or
Yeah.
in
well, we played
Washington.
Or in Washington, yeah.
We played some
Beat up
beach
on some
football.
teenagers.
Well, so football was one of the reasons why. So in Atlanta, I was a t-shirt guy. I bought a t-shirt in the first year in Atlanta, and we played football, and it got all muddy, and then I washed it, and it shrank. So that was the last time I ever bought a shirt. And you see me putting on hats. I get a hat everywhere, but I collect all the stuff that they give away, like the Green Bay koozie and Atlanta, Arizona, and the wristband from the Wildcats. I collect every year's. I still have.
Did the shirt shrink or did you grow?
I had to go deep to get this seat from Houston.
That's Bible.
Oh, Bible's got that. Nice. But it's, for me, baseball is the most fun I have at a game because we get to walk around and kind of hang out, and you can still watch the game, and we eat together and drink together, and we'll play home run derby or speed pitching. I feel like Kevin might have the fastest arm of all of us.
I think it was Jeff.
Jeff has a pretty good arm too. But I'm all about memorabilia. I'm all about memorabilia, and this guy's talking about. Mom, sit up. Come on. I'm just kidding. But I'm memorabilia. I like to do, one of the things I like to do is, and we've only done it a few times. It's tough to do, but I like to do something for everyone. So I have shirts. We made shirts that we gave out away that had cities. One year, which was a disaster, I made shorts for everyone in Colorado, and then not a great shorts. And then last year,
for blankets for a normal person.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I made a memory book, a photo album for everyone, with everyone's name on the back and a bunch of our favorite photos. And I'll show you a few regrets in sports and history. We had a great time at Harvard. Remember, we were playing musical chairs in Harvard. You can just look through this, and every picture kind of tells a story. But we were in Boston, and we went to the Nike store, and me, Jeff, and Dave all put on that. Remember the camouflage shirt? I wish we would have bought that. I keep tickets. I'm a ticket guy. I got all the sports weekend tickets in my book. So it's there's so many great memories, regardless of whether you have a shirt or a hat or anything like that. Maybe let's just go through each city real quick. And just, everyone give just a real quick memory so we can get through them all since we got a bunch of them. But let's talk about some memories that we had throughout the years. I'll let you guys start with Atlanta, with St. Louis. I wasn't there. Can we agree? Well, let's see if we can all agree on what the biggest, either the funniest thing or the best highlight was for that. So what do you guys got for St. Louis?
Tough to beat getting kicked out.
We got kicked out of a strip club. Or got chased out of a strip club in East St. Louis. Probably not the greatest story to tell, but
and it was Cardinals, Rams, and Missouri Tigers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I wasn't there.
It wasn't
It sucks.
that.
Yeah,
that was.
If I'm wrong.
Missouri, Nebraska. It was actually a Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska.
Because
that was,
Nebraska had like 3 times the fans.
And that was Crouch's Heisman run. He won the.
Yes, that was the 94-yard run.
Yeah,
Side to side.
Yeah, that's right.
We went to
that was a famous
We park. Didn't we park on the highway there too? Because it was so crowded. Parked on the highway and kind of walked there.
Yeah, it was a weird. It was a long trip, that one.
And I believe Brian Siegel had to stop and throw up out the window.
Yeah, that was when Rob kept talking about mayonnaise donuts. He kept whispering in his ear about me. Just think about mayonnaise donuts, and eventually.
I thought the highlight.
You guys were in a separate car, but
what?
Yeah.
I thought the highlight of that trip was Bob beating up the cardboard cutout.
No, that was Atlanta. That was Atlanta. Chipper Jones, Marlins, Braves, which I was going to say Atlanta next. The best story was probably Bob almost getting kicked out for buying a $40 cardboard cutout of Chipper Jones and smashing it The lady didn't really, he didn't really like
Deserved
that. And we won't say who, but there's a rumor that in Atlanta, somebody was in a hot tub. There's some crazy store in a hot tub. We're not going to say who it was.
I don't know who that was.
It was a
Video
crazy
surveillance
story.
is available.
Yes, somewhere, because nobody can confirm it. Whoever it was in a hot tub with a couple girls and a security guard, and nobody can confirm it. We'll move on.
All right, so back to St. Louis. We went to.
Why was there a security guard in the hot tub?
We don't know. We don't know who it was. We're not going to say who it was. It's just it was. We don't know why because no one was there.
The riverboat gambling.
Yeah.
Right in St. Louis. Also at the baseball game when we got tossed out, it was partially because we were yelling at the beer vendor who was holding up a sign saying beer as opposed to yelling beer here like we're used to in New York, right? So they got a little aggravated with us, but there was a little kid that was sitting in front of us and it was his birthday, right?
Yep.
And we sang happy birthday to him. And then we did something that got the ushers all mad. And then that was the end of our visit to Busch Stadium.
All right, Atlanta. We played a beautiful day of golf at Stone Mountain.
Oh yeah,
Chipper Jones and the hot tub, probably the highlight. I think Craig Koppelman brought his
Natty Light
into the bar that doesn't sell Natty Light, so it was a little bit of a sticking out there. Pittsburgh.
That was when Buckhead was actually Buckhead.
Yeah,
right?
still there.
So Pittsburgh was
Bob running down the street with his foam finger and his pants down to his ankles. Go to the hamburger stand, looking for a hamburger from the hamburger truck.
The grease truck.
That was my first trip, and I think honestly, I think my body.
You met Matt Newman.
Covering.
You met Boom and Newman at the ESPN zone down there.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the food. There has been some fantastic food eating.
Oh yeah.
Well, really good food as well as accomplishments by some people on this trip.
Yeah, we'll get to the food, but let's go through the trips. Let's get through the trips. Why did we miss baseball for Pittsburgh? Who got married?
Was it a wedding?
It wasn't a wedding.
Was it a wedding?
Why did we go?
We had to go. We pushed it back. I don't remember why we pushed it back.
Jewish
So
holidays.
we got married. Could have been the Jewish holidays.
Back
into October.
It was only our
no
third
baseball.
trip. It had to have been. There had to have been plenty of options. It was only our third.
That
trip.
was the coldest walk I've ever made.
Brutal. Yeah.
From
cold.
the Virginia Tech pit game with
Game
Larry
day was there.
Fitzgerald.
Game day was there.
Game day was there, right? And Evan, it was just me and you who walked, right?
Yeah.
We walked all the way from the Heinz Field all the way across the bridge to the bar that you guys took a cab to or something. And it was the coldest night we've ever had at any sports weekend.
25-cent beers.
Yeah.
And we didn't have seats. We had standing room only seats.
Oh my God.
And we hung out in the bathroom to get warm. And
hot
we got
chocolate was
as
cold
much
by
hot
the time
chocolate
we
as
got back.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We
good
did get to
stuff.
see Larry Fitzgerald. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the craziest things about that trip was it was about, and we're all from New Jersey actually, so we've been in cold. It was about in top 5 coldest we've ever been that Saturday night watching the game, and then Sunday we're in short sleeves tailgating at the Steelers game.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, that was we had Primanti Brothers, which you got to get when you're in Pittsburgh. Chicago was the next year, which was a combination of Sports Weekend and Evan's bachelor party. So we'll skip some of those stories. But
Big life events on these.
there was some really strange. It was fun just because of what it was, but there was some. We played Whirly Ball. We got to get hosted by Jeff.
Oh yeah, Whirly Ball.
We had a doubleheader too.
Oh, we did Whirly Ball. That was fun.
Doubleheader. Cubs went to Wrigleyville.
With Mia Hamm, right? We walked with Mia Hamm to the stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, funny Mia Hamm story. We're walking. I'm like, I tell everyone, hey, that's Mia Hamm. And they're like, I don't know. There was a lady walking behind her
at the time, right?
A lady walking behind her. And she was like, I get up to her, I'm like, hey, is that Mia Hamm? She's like, I don't know. Like, you don't know. You were standing right next to her. You're obviously with her. Anyway, Kevin sent us a picture tonight. We got stopped and got a picture of her at the light. So that's Chicago. Cleveland was a very interesting trip. Josh joined us. Josh was one of Josh's, few trips that he joined us. And
You got Bill Murray stayed in the hotel down the hall from us, didn't in
That was Chicago. I think that was
Right.
Chicago. wasn't
Chicago,
it?
the House of Blues.
Yeah,
Bill Murray was staying in the corner room.
Cleveland was the purple hat ladies, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Downtown.
Yeah. So we
Brett
drove.
always trying to find a bathroom.
We drove
That
from
was
Cleveland
his
to
trip.
Columbus, which was a far trip, and sports weekend history. We didn't get into the Ohio State-Texas game. Tickets at that time were like $300, and it was just I wish we would have. It's really one of the big regrets that we didn't just pay for it to go in. At the time we were like, should we do? I think I ordered from like Western. I got almost scammed by the Western Union people with tickets over in UK. And Kevin and I were talking, but the next trip was Tampa.
Hold on. So Cleveland has two other, for me anyway. Well, one for everyone, but for me was a funny one because that was the year that Josh was there, and me, Dave, and Josh all have our first child born within about 3 weeks of each other.
Okay.
And so we were all separately preparing to tell everyone, that our wives were pregnant, but I actually left my cell phone. And so I had to run back once we had gotten into the airport, and Julie had told Dave's wife, Jess, and then she gave me a hug and, to say congratulations. And then I found out Dave's secret. So I was on the plane knowing Dave's secret the whole time that his wife was pregnant also. And then Josh was there, and he threw the wild card, and the rest had no idea that his wife was pregnant. But we had a good time with that. And then the next thing that I remember, which I thought was amazing, we were doing a long drive. So we had a breakfast in between Ohio State, and we went to where were we? Was it
Bob something? Bob Evans.
Bob Evans.
Big boy.
Bob
Evans.
Just to make the math easy, right? Everyone threw in like $20 for breakfast. It probably was like 15 or 16 or whatever it was. All of a sudden, like the waitresses start pouring over to our table, and they're like, "You have no idea how important this is. You guys are the best. Your waitress has been through some really hard times." We're like, "What the fuck did we do? Like, did someone give her 100? Like, we
were just
like,
so hungover, we didn't realize how much
it was. Certainly, it probably added up to being a nice tip. Correct me if I'm wrong. They were. We got a standing ovation when we left the restaurant.
Yeah, we got very celebrated here. Yeah,
It was hilarious.
that was probably the longest we drove. It was 2 hours, 2+ hours that we drove. Tampa and Gainesville back to Tampa. So Bucket, the Rays, and then the Gators, and back for the Buccaneers. We had some extra people there just because I was,
hottest football game ever.
Yeah,
That
big
game.
game.
I remember
brutal.
eating that was my favorite
Great
turkey
seats.
leg. Kevin, Brett, and I got handicap seats for some reason. And I remember eating it. They have a nice picture of me eating a turkey leg.
They were front row.
They enjoyed that.
They were.
It was hot. We were dumping water on our head.
LA, San Diego. Oh my God! I mean, the traffic. But one of my favorite sports weekend memories occurred on that trip, and it was the tailgating at the Chargers game, where we did Jeff did a hanging keg stand for the mini keg we had, where we were holding people by the legs. I don't even know if we have any photos with it, but we got a mini keg, and we were doing keg stands, and Jeff was a trooper. We were holding him by the legs. I remember the traffic. We also did. We went to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, which was.
David. I mistakenly shook the hot sauce and got it all over David's shirt and into my eye.
In your eye, I believe, which took a good 5 hours to go away.
And then you also, Kevin picked a fight with like three. They're probably in the MMA Hall of Fame. Me and Jeff were trying to figure out if the 12 of us were enough to fight the three guys that Kevin was, starting to fight with. they're wearing whatever that affliction or whatever all their shit is.
That was after Kevin
I
rode.
just wanted my onion rings. I just wanted my onion rings.
Kevin rode the
bull, mechanical bull.
Had a big
Yeah,
welt
and-
on his.
And I wound up with a huge, like, black and blue on my
A
whole
lot of-
thigh.
A lot of injuries for you on these trips, if I recall. Because
Yeah,
there was
Atlanta
one
Austin fell off.
Oh,
there was
Bar
another one
Atlanta,
on
I fell off the stage.
upstage.
I still have an indention on my shin on my right side. That every time I go for a massage, I have to tell them don't touch that area because it hurts. It still hurts.
That was,
And next we got
Wow.
Denver, which
Elaborate. I
was
fell off the stage once when I was dancing.
that was in where was that, Brett?
It was in Denver.
It was
No,
in
I'm
Denver.
saying that's what Kevin should be telling the massage therapist. Hey, when I was up there dancing on a stage.
Oh, yeah. So Denver was a great trip. It was a unique one. We went to 4 games. Thursday night, Colorado Buffaloes has one of my favorite all-time sports weekend moments. Also, West Virginia, Colorado upset West Virginia after I think the field goal or extra point hit the goalpost, and then we're getting ready to leave, and we're looking around, and we're like, "Where the hell is Jeff?" 2 minutes later, Jeff had stormed the field. The rest of the college kids were like, "All right, we'll see you later." But really unique trip because we also got to Colorado State, which was fun. The first college game that we went to that sold beer, and we went to the New Belgium Brewery, which was a great day there, and got to see a Broncos game and the Rockies. We all tried. I don't know if we all tried, but I tried. I think most of us did. Tried some Rocky Mountain oysters at the
Worst
Rocky
thing ever.
And for those who don't know, those are sheep
That was
balls.
disgusting.
Yeah, it's hard to rank, but that's
Yeah.
probably a top 5 trip for me.
That was a
It's
really
nice that all the
good trip.
stadiums
It
were.
was a great trip.
That was a good trip.
Yeah, 4 different
Fort
stadiums.
Collins, yeah, it was great. The
We
brewery
were
was
sitting in the
really
last row.
Now we got Arizona. That's where we welcome Vomit to the crew. And he's called Vomit because we kind of initiated him on Thursday night, and we all drank way too much, and we did a yellow Jeep tour in Sedona the next day and had to stop. Pink. What'd I say? Yellow?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
pink.
There's no worse feeling than having the worst hangover in your life and then finding out that the activity tour is we're going off-roading in the mountains on a Jeep.
Yeah.
That's like makes it so much worse.
You were sick well before the Jeep. I
Probably.
seem to recall vomiting so hard you fell to your knees at a parking lot in a gas station. We were all watching from the car, just amazed.
like,
Yeah.
So the worst part of that is having to puke and realizing that you're
I never-
driving on a highway and the road is closed.
that the
So
year?
the road was closed and the first exit was closed.
I think like
Next exit was
is
closed.
that
We
Denver?
finally pulled to the gas station.
No, Arizona.
Arizona.
I just remember
Arizona.
thinking that I'm like, fuck, how the hell am I supposed to tell his parents that we killed their son? I'm like, I think he's gonna end up in the hospital. I was like, this is not good. I'm like, oh, we're in some trouble here.
We were probably all thinking, who brought this asshole? That's what we probably were all thinking.
I was thinking I'm not invited back.
No,
Then we got in the pool.
you've been a great addition to the trip. We love having you as part of the crew. As one of the, people who didn't come with us. You kind of came right. You were a champ from the start. Came right in and haven't missed a beat. Arizona, we went to Diamondbacks. Then we drove to Tucson to see the Wildcats and came back for the Cardinals.
Tucson was fun.
Tucson was a good time.
That was a fun night.
Yeah, we had a good. There was some stories that we won't tell, but they were fun. We all had a good time.
Was that JD?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Keep in mind, I was a single guy throughout the whole, basically all the weekend until the end. Then we went to Houston, and Houston was another good trip. We had that might have been the first trip that Wolkus joined us. And Wolkus is he was supposed to join us here, but he is Russ's brother-in-law.
Yes.
And Russ and Mitch were additions from friends of Kevin who joined us. So they were on a bunch of trips. Hopefully they'll come back for the 20th. That would be great. But Houston, I remember we went to We had all the beers, that brewery place with the soft pretzels, and we had we got on a bus, a bachelorette party bus, and we were like, some of us were like hanging, doing pole dancing, and anyway, it was. We went to a couple of bars, and Batman showed up. I sent you guys the Batman DJ. What else happened in Houston? Houston had beer in the stadium. They brewed their own beer. That was something that stood out. Anything else? I mean, it was a pretty good trip from what I remember.
That bar that we went to that had the outside, inside, like they played like ping pong or cup pong or something like that, right?
Beer pong?
Beer pong. Nobody remember that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I remember having a good time in Houston.
I remember the pretzels.
Houston was good.
Yeah,
it was great.
Minnesota was a fun trip too. We had David had some people he brought that trip. Who did you bring?
My brother-in-law who lives there.
Nick, right? Nick?
Good to have him join.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Giorgio?
Lawn bowling.
Yeah, we went lawn bowling.
Lawn bowling was fun.
At Britt's Pub was great. The first.
That's a great city.
I'm pretty sure that Dave, that you, me, and Rob were like beer pong. We were some champions of beer pong or something.
We
have a belt.
Shuffleboard.
No,
Yeah.
we played shuffleboard at the hotel.
It was flip cup.
That's where I introduced you.
Yeah,
It was flip cup. It was at a bar after I think the
it was the
Gophers
college
game.
game. The college game.
That was the second longest walk because I remember we had a fucking monster walk.
I don't remember
That's why
walking.
you got the
I remember
bicycles, right?
riding.
Yeah, the
And
bike.
there were
rented
no
bikes.
spots left.
We
So
have
you
a
had to keep
picture of me.
going. Find a
You got a
bike.
picture
I remember
of me
renting
and
bikes.
Picture of me and Rob in the bushes somehow. I don't remember why, but we were like stuck in the bushes. That's what I remember.
That was in Boston when you were taking a piss.
No, that was at the Patriots game. I wasn't falling in. I was standing behind it, and you guys, funny people that you were, took pictures. We're not 12 years old anymore.
Looked like a
What do you
Yeti.
mean? I took one of Evan in the urinal in Miami.
The next trip, it's hard to top the next trip. Green Bay was Thursday night, cheeseheads, tailgating in the neighborhood, moonshine. Then Madison, the
Greatest bathrooms on any trip ever.
frat party
just hanging
across
out by the
street.
lake.
Yeah, we played football that weekend. Remember that? We did really went all out Saturday night. After the game, we were at the college club with K's, the K College Club. Some body
Put on a
shots.
wrestling clinic.
Body shots were done. There's some more stories we're not going to talk about, but
Were there hockey players involved?
Yes.
That's the only time we really went to 3 different locations, right? Because we went to Green Bay, to Madison,
Milwaukee and Madison.
and Milwaukee.
One of my
We also
favorites.
went to a brewery there too, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We went to Lakefront.
Lakefront.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
We went to
Yeah,
Lakefront.
Wheat Monkey, yeah. One of my favorite memories from that trip was we were leaving Green Bay, and we were trying to get to Madison so we could play football. And you guys, a couple of people went out and got coffee. And Jeff was like, "Are we leaving? We gotta go. We gotta go so we can get there in time to play football. Let's go. And he ran out, and Kevin looks at me and he goes, "I think he may have accidentally drank my double espresso." I always remember that. It was really funny.
Jeff is always ready to go. Like,
Yes,
especially when it comes to football, like energy,
But
high
that
level energy all the time. And I'm like, I'm done.
all
Just
of that
tired.
after a
Need a
double
break.
espresso. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a grinding trip. I mean, you get there. There's not a lot of sleep. We're out. We're on the run. Obviously doing some drinking and doing some physical activity. Yeah, it's grinding.
But Jeff is always a mile a minute, no matter what. He is intense.
Yeah.
Picture a caged animal who gets let out once a weekend. It's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to get crazy.
Once a year.
Baltimore and
Once a weekend.
we saw, Baltimore DC. We saw the Nationals, which was a fun game. Then we saw Maryland play at the Ravens Stadium, and then we went and
The downpour.
we went to see Chicago.
Poured at the Ravens game.
Oh yeah,
I think that was one of the first games we actually left early. Was that we got to like early third quarter for the Maryland game. That was a shellac.
30-0 or something like that.
That was one of the first games.
A good trip. I think we might even go back to that area because we could always do Orioles, which we didn't see, and you could do Ravens and maybe like Navy or something like that. Yeah, that would be good. So we'll it might happen. We don't know. But that was Baltimore and DC. And then we did Philly and Jersey. And that, we're all from Jersey. So it's not a thrilling trip from that standpoint, right? We've all been to 100 of these games, but we ended up going to a Phillies game. Then we went to Rutgers. I think it was Rutgers, Ohio State, wasn't it?
No, it was Rutgers, Penn State. It was their first game as part of the Big Ten, and they had the lead at halftime.
Yeah. So Rutgers, and it rained. We had a little bit of tailgating. Then we went to a Giants game. The Phillies game was fun. Had a really good time at the Phillies game. But, it's tough. You just don't – like Kevin, we went to Arizona for Kevin, where he lives. We went to Chicago where Dave – well, Dave, you weren't in Chicago at that time. Yeah, so where Jeff lived. And, going to New Jersey where we're all at, we kind of wanted – it's not an exciting thing. You want to sort of get on a plane or get in a car and take a road trip and leave.
Was it just the three of us, me, you, and Kevin, started in Atlantic City, right?
Yeah, we started in Atlantic City. Yep.
I was in AC with you guys.
Yeah. We had there was some interesting stuff there that we won't talk about.
Weren't we in a casino in Canada too?
Yeah. So the next trip is Detroit. I had a really good time in Detroit. I know it was one of the less anticipated trips. We started out in Windsor, Canada, a few of us, and went to a casino and had some drinks. I thought Detroit was great. We had, the Tigers game, and it was fun, and the Lions, and what was the college game?
It was the Big House, wasn't it?
The Big House, yeah.
Went to the
That was the quietest 100,000 people I've ever been around.
That's what they talk about. But no, Detroit was good. Someone brought. That was when David had another guest. Who did you bring to that one? Clown, Eric the Clown.
Yeah,
right?
Eric the Clown, a buddy from work who's from Detroit.
One and done.
Yeah.
One and done.
He's a Detroit fan, so it fit well for him. But yeah, one and done.
We're not a fan of the one and done, but that's okay. We'll let everyone bring someone if they have to. Seattle, probably the most anticipated trip. One, it's a really cool place, and two, for about 17 years, it was never an option for us to go to. And we're at the mercy of the NFL schedule. It's odd to not have that, but man, once it became an option, that was it, and we went. Great! What a great place!
That was a great city.
Great city, great food. The games were great. We had a great time.
So Matt, I'm going to give you a big giant plug to this wonderful business and this opportunity that we're all here online as part of your ticket time machine. Welcome to the Wolff Den. So this was actually kind of neat because we have a bunch of tickets. I actually have a handful. This is a ticket from the very first trip, right, in St. Louis, and some other ones. But this one, like I said, St. Louis, or Seattle rather, was one of the games or the cities I was most looking to get to, and certainly going to a Seahawks game. And the tickets that we had were printed on paper. So we actually grabbed a couple folks, tried to get a ticket. And I think I gave a guy like $10 just to get the ticket stubs. This is not the seat I was in, but I wanted an awesome souvenir of having been out there to Seattle. So to speak to your business and what you do is kind of interesting because this is not the ticket that we had, but one that we ended up with.
Yeah, I think I have that too somewhere, probably.
Yeah, I think I gave someone like $10 or something to get.
Yeah, I remember. Oh, here it is. Here we go. I got a ticket from that game too. Even though our tickets were print at home. Anything else stand out in Seattle?
Hey, that was the 9/11 anniversary. So that place was rocking, man. That stadium against the Dolphins. I thought that was awesome. The whole thing, from the flyover, from the game itself, just the stadium and the sound, like the acoustics in there, it was just awesome. The energy was incredible.
The fish market was awesome too.
The fish market was great.
The clam chowder at the with the soup place that's down there. It's pretty famous as well.
It's fantastic. That was fantastic.
I even remember we stopped in a place called Rachel's Ginger Beer, and that was the place that had all the homemade ginger beers with the different alcohol mixes, and we stumbled out of there at like 1:15 p.m. And that was
we
the
were
start
at some
of that day.
weird bar. We were the only ones there, right?
Yeah.
Late night, we ended up somewhere. I think it was like literally just everyone from our trip and the bartender.
And we had a blast.
Yeah. Then we went to Boston.
Well, hang on. That you're gonna talk food later. I'll say that led into a wonderful dinner we had with you.
Oh well, yeah. They all want to talk about
video.
the ramen noodles where I stuffed
Ramen
the
noodles.
ramen in my face so they could do a slow motion video. Maybe we'll post that someday. You guys could post it. We all get a good kick out of it and just send it to each other throughout the year. We went to Dallas. A little uneventful. Yeah, I've been to Dallas a bunch of times. Actually, at the Gator game in Dallas, maybe the week or two before, and I like Dallas a little bit. We went to had a feast at Pecan Lodge, the barbecue. That was probably the highlight.
That was the best part of the trip.
I mean, we ate a ton of that, and that's great barbecue.
I think the highlight of the trip was it Kevin who was driving. We were in the narrowest parking spot in the history of parking, and there was another day, and I'm like, we're never getting we're gonna be here for hours, and I guess it was Dave. Yeah, someone had gotten us out. It was brilliant.
I feel like the consensus is probably that the SMU game was the best part of that trip. I mean, we had a great day there, and we went to ate at this place, and then we were at this bar, and we eat there twice at the Bow Buns or something.
Oh yeah,
good.
Yeah,
those were good.
Those
That was
were
a great
really
bar
good.
that night. I think we all drank.
Boston had a good time too. Ate some good food. Had a really nice meal. That's what this book is from. Boston. We had a friend of the group, Dan. Dan had joined us. Graham came back. He had missed a bunch. Graham was a great addition by Jeff. Hopefully he'll come on the 20th. But Boston was great. We ate great food. I had a sushi breakfast on a walk, and
that was a great city.
Great tailgate. Great city. Great tailgate at the Patriots game. Boston College was fun, and the Red Sox. I mean Fenway. That's a bucket list too. We were walking around Fenway, and Walkus and I went to the Green Monster bar. And what Evan said is we had a bad ticket for the Patriots game, but we're walking out, and there were these girls ahead of us, real young. They definitely didn't care, and I think we paid them like $5 to get a copy of an actual ticket. So that was good. That's a great tailgate. I love having a tailgate. That's one thing that I really look forward to, for certain cities, which we don't always get a chance to do. But a good tailgate for college or pro is really, I think, adds to the experience.
We did that in Miami and in Boca Raton for my FAU.
Yep, that was the next trip. So South Florida, obviously,
like a little gummy worms.
Yeah, that's where I lived. So I wasn't thrilled to not be able to go anywhere, but we ended up at a Marlins game, and FAU, which we had a big tailgate for, a long tailgate, a major God, man, we were waiting online. The people taking the tickets didn't get things done. It was against UCF, huge game for them, and but we had a good tailgate. Then we had a good tailgate at the Dolphins game. Wolkus, who you've heard before, is not here. He actually flew in only for the Dolphins game because it's one of the stadiums that he hasn't been to. He's been to all the baseball stadiums. He's got a trip to every baseball stadium. I mean, we're all at least probably 25, by the time the other ones you've been to in hometowns in New Jersey and, Mets, Yankees. So we've all probably been to about 20, 25 stadiums. And last year we got canceled. So this year we'll get a vote once the operation goes. We're going to have to see what's up with COVID and capacity. Hopefully we can do the same thing with Major League Baseball, college football, and pro. We're going to do a trip regardless. So we will have a trip. We don't know what it's going to be like. We're not know what it's going to look like. We're all going to get together somewhere, hopefully in sports weekend tradition, going to games. but regardless, we'll be somewhere. So let's wrap it up here and give us a quick story, something, a memory or a hope for the 20th. Something. Give us some closing remarks. Kevin, go.
Go me last. I'm
Kevin, you're last.
Kevin.
Man, I don't know. There's been a lot of good times. It's interesting to see the mix of people who have come and gone, but I think this is at this point probably fair to say the core group. And I don't know. Like I said at the beginning, probably the thing that I missed most during COVID was being on this trip and hanging out with everyone. So honestly, I don't really care, where we end up. We've had a bunch of great cities so far, and even if it evolves into something different at some point where we mix in hockey or basketball, it's just a unique idea with a great group of people, and it's definitely a highlight of life, not just each year, but to say that we've had this thing for so long is amazing. I know when I tell people about it, they're always like, you could see their wheels spinning. Like, who could I get who would go on this trip and kind of replicate something like this? So I enjoy that part as much as anything, is just telling other people what we do, and you can see them being like, man, we should really do that.
If you could bring also at the end, if you could bring one person back who's been on a trip but hasn't been often, who would it be?
Who hasn't been? Schwam. I think Schwam was one and done, right? Was he
Pittsburgh and Atlanta?
Was he was two? I don't see Eric very often at all, but
he'd be a good addition to the trip.
He's a lot of fun to be around. So for someone who's already been on a trip to bring back would probably be Schwam.
Matt, at your wedding, I busted his chops for the solid 3-4 hours over drinks about getting him back on these things. By the 10th drink, I think he said he's guaranteed here, but we were drinking a lot. So
who was that?
Schwab.
Oh, no, he wasn't at my wedding.
Yeah,
he wasn't at my wedding. You might have been talking to someone else.
You really were drunk.
That's awesome.
How much did I drink?
Brett, that was actually me. That was actually me. I didn't have to tell you.
Grow hair, you didn't wear your glasses?
I will tell you, Joe, so speaking of weddings, look, I know you guys all a long time, but one of the great things is that, like, I wasn't at Dave's wedding or Jeff's wedding. We just weren't as close back when they got married, but everyone here was either at my wedding or invited, and so it's great to have been the opportunity to get closer with people, like, just over the years, and to have them as part of a circle like this. Any one of these trips wouldn't be the same if any one of us didn't make it, and we kind of try and do everything we can in our power to make sure everyone gets to show up. So that's I guess one of the things that stands out to me. Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo what Evan said. I think there's so many memories, so many great ones. I don't know that there's one that I can really choose. But it is a highlight every year, and the same. Anytime I mention it to somebody, doesn't matter who it is, they're always in awe that we can pull this off, that we've been doing it for so long, that we've all known each other and actually enjoy spending time with each other enough to be able to break away and do this. And it's unique, and it's special to be a part of it. And if I were to hear about it from somebody else and not participate, and it's not something I did, I'd be jealous of them. So I think we definitely have something great, and hopefully we can keep it going.
One of the things real quick is it's so hard to, first of all, it's hard to do anything 20 years in a row. I don't care what it is, just to do anything. Pick one thing and do 20 years in a row. It's very difficult. Now you add in the factor of, there's a good core 8 of us, 7, 8 of us. We've been up to like 11, I think. And so we actually had my friend Andrew and Joe at the Seattle trip, and they do like a mini sports weekend based on Dolphins games. But the thing is, there's like 3 of them. So they'll get on a plane. I mean, it's very easy to plan when you have 3 people. It's not that hard. You know, Kevin and I, we go through a lot of logistics to get 10 people to get hotels and cars and tickets for games, and it's really not easy to do. So it's, you know, a credit to everyone here to be able to keep doing it. But like I said, to have everyone as a part of it is something that is important to us, and so we'll do whatever we can to make that happen. Vomit.
The first couple of trips that we did, we actually bought all the plane tickets for everybody prior to doing it, right?
I believe Jeff as a fan
all in New Jersey. We buy all the tickets together, and now it's like we've been scattered throughout the country, and to be honest, it's the only time that some of us get together throughout the year. So, again, it's something that I look forward to. I haven't been back to Jersey now in 2 years, so this is really the only time that I get to spend with you guys that are all over the country. So, again, there are years that I don't get to see everybody outside of this trip. And so that's really what I look forward to, spending time with you guys and enjoying. I will stop smiling. I know it's a love fest.
We got everyone admits that the trip's not the same without Bible too. I mean, we got to get.
You got to come back.
Gotta come back.
Things are coming down.
Russell's got to come back. Mitch has got to come back.
Brian Paul.
Graham, we got to get Graham.
Brian Paul got to come back. Although we got to skip on Friday nights.
Get him at a Hillel house or whatever, you know. We'll go.
He can do it. It'd have to be a Monday night game, which will, maybe, I don't know.
Spilling.
Yeah.
That caused a lot of trouble out there in St. Louis.
Yeah.
That was
like,
Florida was the worst. That was
Florida got a little ugly.
There's another incident we won't talk about, but
I don't like being walked in on the shower.
All right, maybe we will talk about it. Anyway,
it's so long. Well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Bible wanted to get this from PG to maybe PG-17. So.
Yeah. One day.
All right, Rob, tell us. You got your cell phone. Tell us, a memory, and just give us some last words.
I think all the memories are just like how much we've grown and how much we've been through life, and how we try to get together once a year, albeit I haven't been there in a bit. But, I think the trips are fun because, we just get to let loose. A lot of us have known each other a very long time, even before sports weekend. And the people that we have met, like Brett and Matt, VM, and to be frank, Matt was like kind of a kid when he started, and now he's kind of a grown man. So it's just good. It's good to get together. It's good to let loose. Sometimes
so that means you're coming this year, right?
I mean, nobody had kids.
No. There's no we'll see.
Nobody had. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this offline.
Yeah.
Nobody had kids when we first started this thing, and now Evan's got 4, Kevin's got 2.
Yeah.
Brett's got 2, Dave's got 2, Jeff has 2, right? Jeff has 1. Rob has 2.
He's his own kid.
I forget.
Matt, are you planning on announcing something right now, or what?
No, there's no announcements.
Okay.
I have a kitty cat. I just got married last year, so this will actually be the first sports weekend where I'm actually married. Vomit is not married. He's the only single one left, although
that's right.
he has divorced people, so I guess he's not the only single. He's the only one who's never been married. We'll put that there.
Never have been.
Yeah, with that, tell us, just give us some parting words. And Jeff, change your, I don't know if you can hear us, change your stuff so you can give us some parting words here.
Awesome.
I am definitely 100% single. Besides from being not married, I do have a girlfriend from New Jersey, keeping it real. But I can't thank you all enough for the memories that we've created. If anyone is watching out there in Facebook land, the Ticket Time Machine has encapsulates those memories, which I think is awesome. But it's a great tradition. I'm looking forward to this year, and I really appreciate the effort that goes into planning it because it's awesome.
I remember our talk. You and I had a big talk about Ticket Time Machine in Boston, right when it was like the start of it. It was, we've all, I mean, everyone here has basically changed jobs. Maybe Kevin did because he moved. Everyone's changed jobs.
I actually got a job offer in Houston right before.
I almost missed a job interview from Miami.
Yeah. I've been unemployed for a few trips, and sadly enough, that I missed the first trip because I was unemployed and I was living with my grandparents, and she gave me so much guilt about spending money. It's a real. I don't have a lot of regrets in my life, but that's one of the big regrets I had was not going on that trip because it's just look, the money will be there, and at the end of the day, if someone needed at this point, if someone had a money issue, we'd all pick up the slack for someone. We don't want money to be an excuse why someone doesn't come on a trip like this. So I know we wouldn't, we'd pick up the slack for anyone who needed it. But that's my final thought. Vomit and then Brett.
Really, the big thing is just the people that are on this trip that it's anyone can do a weekend where they get together, whether it be for sports, whether it be going to a beach trip, whether it be doing anything. But it's the people that really make the trip. And, I think that's what hit me the most is, everyone between being, lifelong friends and even welcoming new people and, forming this just bond that, text messages now throughout the year and, constant ball busting. It's absolutely great. And, after my performance the first year to be welcomed back, I'll take that. And, talking about buying certain things, I used to buy T-shirts. That was what I used to buy in the beginning. And I've outgrown all of them. So if anyone wants any belly shirts, I am offering them.
I don't wear them. I don't wear the shirt. I don't even wear the hats I have. But if I have them, I collect them. There's just things that you can count on a sports weekend. One of the things I can count on is Kevin being an asshole to me the whole time, and then every Monday when we get back, he's like my best friend.
Just love to give you grief.
Yeah, well, you're good at it for the most part.
It's like you're married for 4 days a year.
That's why I sent the email or the text of what time does this thing actually start, just to kind of give you a little nudge, be like, oh, I can't make it. I'm gonna be late.
No, I would have been fine. Look. The thing
that San Diego was as a married couple was your rock bottom, if I remember correctly.
What happened?
San Diego was a tough one for you guys.
No, it was Boston. It was the worst.
I don't even remember because it didn't bother me.
I know it didn't bother you because you were the one in.
It's always very comfortable.
Yeah, it's everyone was very uncomfortable. We can all agree on that.
Which was the year where Brett and I were throwing fists and wrestling in the hotel room, like literally punching the crap out of each other.
That was Cleveland, and it was 3:00 in the morning, and Josh and I had already been asleep. You guys came in; it was like the Tasmanian devil. It was I've never seen anything like it. You were
This video somewhere.
the hell out of each other.
It was an MMA fight.
It was unbelievable,
but it was fun.
Yeah.
Remember, I don't start fights. I finish them.
Yeah. I remember feeling a thing.
That was hilarious.
It was.
Do you have a sense of where you would like to go? I mean, if you had your pick, is there a city that we haven't been to that you're really, top of mind? Cincinnati, speaking of the Reds, is a trip we haven't taken. There's some California trips. We can do some reboots of up and down the East Coast. Buffalo is a trip. We'll maybe get to Toronto, although they're not playing in Toronto right now, so probably not this year.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is a big one for us. Yeah.
My regrets here are as the ticker goes by, looking at all the trips, is that I started in 2005, so those first few, your St. Louis, the Atlanta, the Pittsburgh, the Chicago. I've always wanted to go to Chicago. The fact that I missed those with you guys, I got a lot of regret there. Yeah. And then of course you had 2 girls, babies born, and change of career and moving around the country for the job. I missed a couple here and there. And I definitely regret every time I see a city, and I'm like, I didn't go to that one. Regret.
St. Louis doesn't even have a football team anymore.
Yeah, we'll hope to have to see the Rams.
I'll skip St. Louis.
What
So
about
wherever
San Francisco? That's San Francisco. Oakland is another one.
Yeah.
Well, I know, we're all East Coasters for the most part, so it's that's a big trip to go out to West Coast. But
especially now, I was there already.
Yeah,
That was a good time.
we're gonna get there. We definitely will get there. Yeah, we might have lost Jeff. Any last words? I know we went a little overtime here, but we could talk for hours and hours and hours. It's great to see everyone. I wanted to have something special for our 50th, and from a Ticket Time Machine perspective in Wolff Den, this has a little bit of everything that we're all about. Memories and commemorative and souvenirs and it has everything: tailgating and food and music and sports, all of it, and hanging out. It's just it's the most fun I have, and to be able to do it with the people that are in my real tight circle is it's great. I hope we do another. We'll find a way to keep doing it for another 20 years. Obviously, we will have been to every city, so we'll have to change a little bit, and maybe someday
across the pond.
Someday there'll be children on the trip. I don't know if they'll be old enough. We'll have to see, but certainly not out of the question. And that's it. Everyone, look forward to next month. We'll know where we're going. We'll have some voting. We'll talk about it. Certainly, I'll post it. It's just a real special thing to be able to say that we've been doing, and like Dave and everyone mentioned, it's very unique, and not a lot of people get an opportunity to do this, and we've been very lucky in that sense. So,
just don't vote Cincinnati.
What?
Just don't vote Cincinnati.
I like Cincinnati. What's wrong with Cincinnati?
I'm wearing the red shirt.
Yeah, I know. I think Cincinnati would be a good trip. I think
Kansas City's ringing real nice right about now.
Yeah.
Kansas City, San Francisco, possibly Las Vegas, but they don't have baseball. But we can see a minor league ballpark.
Vegas wouldn't be a bad trip.
Hockey.
Vegas get the Golden Knights.
Very tough ticket. I've been there for conferences.
Raiders now.
Very tough ticket. Both of those will be tough.
Yeah, the Raiders are there.
Yeah, you want to see the Raiders' new stadium. You want to see San Francisco's new stadium. Love to get a chance to be in the Bay. Maybe we could do something in the Bay for the game. Giants.
Or rent kayaks.
Yeah, I'll probably tip over.
If not, I'll help you.
Someone would tip me over is probably the better odds of that. That's it. 50th episode, Wolff Den, Sports Weekend. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. We got another episode of Wolff Den tomorrow. And a cool episode. We got Andrew Goldberg. He's got one of the most unique and biggest collection of Michael Jordan tickets. Interesting. So we'll see you tomorrow. Everyone else, have a great night. Have a great weekend. And tune into the Wolff Den. Thank you.
Let's go Mets.
Thank you, guys.